This is Basalon Cycling, the podcast that brings you on thrilling adventures in the world of cycling, ultracycling, and bikepacking. I'm your host, Sherry. Today we have a very special episode with the winner of the Tour de Bike 2024, Justinas. Welcome to the show.
Hello, you beautiful people. Thank you for having me there.
I think a lot of you are familiar with him. I mean, you are a legend in the ultra cycling scene. I don't know how many races you won, and this year your performance at the Tour de Bike was really amazing. You actually got the fastest known time, right?
Yeah,
So 13
the
days and
record.
2 hours?
Well, yeah. It is. It's been. I maybe would have loved to ride it a bit slower, so so that I could enjoy more. But yeah, it was a fast one.
For those who are not familiar with the Tour Divide, it follows the Continental Divide Trail. So it goes from Banff, Canada, all the way to the
Yes,
US Mexico border, right? How long it is?
exactly. It's like 4,400 kilometers or like 2,700 miles. It has quite a few mountains on the way that you have to climb. So I think it's 55,000 meters of elevation gain. So
Hmm.
it's the numbers are huge and they are quite difficult to process in your head. So when you start, you can't think about the end. You just have to
Yeah.
take one day at a time. And
But it's your second time in the event,
mm,
right? You did it
yeah,
in
last year.
2023. And
Yeah.
why you decided to come back? You had in mind winning the race or going for the fastest known time?
Yes and no. The fastest known time, I mean, yeah, the records are
Yeah,
there
the
to be
record.
broken, and the but actually, so last year when I did it, I made lots of mistakes. I mean, I was not prepared. Yeah, and so, but as well, when I finished last year, I told everyone that thank you, I had enough, and I've done this, and I'm happy with it, and even though I knew I could have gone faster, but but that was enough. I finished.
Hmm.
But I also added one sentence, which was like, I would do it again, but not out of my own pocket. Like I wouldn't, because that is one of the most expensive free races, and because of the time it takes, yeah, it's a long one.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so this year, luckily, I had some people, good people, wanting me to come back and try to do better. And yeah, I went back to fix my mistakes, predominantly, like, yeah, so that I could see what the time actually would have been.
Yes, exactly. I mean, you had quite a few issues last year. I follow your race, like with the derailleur and all these things. What do you think is the biggest change that made a difference this year?
Yeah, the preparation probably. I really tried to eliminate all the things that I can eliminate, like which came down to just to basically on the things that I haven't done, like or neglected to do. Like, yeah, you have to you have to bring the bike, which is almost new, or at least do the service before change the all moving parts. And because in my head, I mean, when you think about it, it's only 14 days. It's
Yeah,
like pedals. I had those pedals for years, so why would it break in 14 days? But
yeah,
but Tour Divide is a race where it eats all the things on your bike. I mean,
yeah.
you have
If
to,
it
yeah,
survives to the bike, survives everything, right?
exactly. Like after this, that is one of the best tests you can put it through. Like you start at north, where it's this year it snowed. We went through winter, right? Winter, spring, summer, and then you arrive to New Mexico, where it's like 40 degrees heat and like 40 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can talk in kilometers and Celsius, and don't need to use miles and feet and Fahrenheit.
Yeah, and what's the equipment that you will say is different from other races that you take on the Tour de Dubai? Because as you mentioned, the weather conditions are quite extreme. I think the race
Hmm.
leaders, you were able to escape this snowstorm, but the other part of the field got caught
Hmm.
up in the storm. Is there any equipment that you take for Tour de Dubai that you wouldn't take normally that made a difference?
I don't think so. You have to be prepared for everything, like because I like to do those extreme races, like yeah, Atlas, Silk Road. So Tour Divide is very similar to those because it's a remote, so you kind of have to be able to survive in everything.
Mm-hmm.
So clothing is very important. You have to have all the rain gear possible, and you have to have the warm gear because it got below freezing a couple of times, and yeah, so it rained, it snowed, so you have to have way more gear and gear for all sorts of weather. You can't just get away with arm warmers and gilet. Like you
Yeah.
have to have everything.
Yeah, exactly. And what I love is like you were the first person to win Tour Dubai on a skin suit. I mean, and they say aero doesn't matter in ultracycling. Why you decided
I
to race on a skin suit?
it does like I always believe that if you are fast in your head, or like if you feel fast, you are fast.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I told to Albion. Jack was also, like skins it into the wide, and you think it's gonna be comfortable.
Yeah.
And I said to him like, yeah, dude, I want to. Like, I really think that I can be faster in it, like, and at least in
Yeah.
my head, like, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're the head is a very powerful weapon. So if you get your head right, you can do crazy things. I think a lot of people forget that, okay, you're moving 20 kilometers an hour, but if the wind is blowing from front and it's 20 kilometers an hour, so suddenly you're moving at 40 kilometers an hour, and that's where all the tests for the pros are made and all the marginal gains become huge gains. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And how do you prepare? I mean, I know you have a very busy job as nurse in Norway, so
Hmm.
how do you balance like ultra racing, preparation? I mean, that must be really difficult.
It's so as I said many times, my life is my coach. My life
Mhm.
is my best coach. So I do yeah. So training, working, and it also sums up together. You don't have to spend 12 hours on a bike to be prepared for Tour de Wide. If your job is taxing, like if it takes time and energy, and then you have like another 2 3 hours on the bike, so it suddenly can be 10 hours, like like a long day on the bike.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think, and because of my job, so shifts and night shifts and stuff, so that also helps for me to stay awake at night. And
Yeah.
I would call those, like, riding at night is a night shift for me. I would just take it as a night shift, and now I have to do a night shift and get the breakfast somewhere warm and nice and get a coffee, and I'm good to go again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think what you say, you get used to if you have a job that you have night shifts,
Hmm.
then it's not as difficult. I think what people struggle the most is when they have the first overnighter and you feel
Hmm.
horrible. But then you learn it doesn't get much better, but you know how to deal with it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, very true. Because you have to learn your body. You have to know how it copes to different things and how it reacts to different situations. And our bodies are amazing. Like what they are capable to adapt to and how they adapt to things, it's just mind blowing. I mean, I'm surprised every time. Like this was my second Tour Divide, and already I finished it, and I'm in completely different state than I was last year.
You did like maybe more strength training or like something different in the preparation that it was not as hard, or it's just like experience, just having done it once and
I
learned
think
from
it's
mistakes.
and yeah, so fixing the mistake. Like I slept I slept on the cold floors. I slept in the cold last year. I did lots of those stupid, choices along the route, and this is what I try to improve a lot this year. So I slept probably maybe 2 or 3 nights more inside than I did last year,
Mm-hmm.
which is a huge change in or like in recovery and helps you. Then yeah, the training wise, I think I mainly followed kind of the same what I've been doing before. Yeah, so there's some strength training in winter time and skiing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I live in Norway, so winter is not a thing that I'm afraid of. So
Yeah.
so I think when it snowed in Montana, it was kind of to my advantage because it was a shitty weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest was more or less like it used to be.
Yeah, you have quite a good moving time, like 70% moving time. So this extra rest inside makes you maybe more efficient. I don't know. I find that sometimes myself in ultra races, if I have a good night of rest inside, then I'm more efficient during the day than if I just sleep on the floor, more sluggish.
Very, very true. Because you become like you're just crawling. You're not cycling. Then you're just crawling because you can't keep focused. And if you're not focused, you're not like your mind gets away, and you're not pushing the pedals when you could push them. So it's I think it really helped me. Yeah,
Hmm.
rest can make you faster.
Yeah, exactly. And what would you say was the best and the worst part of the Tour Dubai this year?
Mm. It's a difficult one. I haven't thought about that. The most difficult probably was the weather. Yeah, it was
Hmm.
a challenging one. And the best part, I would say dot watchers. Yeah, dot like the best part I've thought about because I've been asked about that, and I really loved the all the encounters that I had with dot watchers
Hmm.
because they were good. I love that. Like so many people outside, like out on the route. It's been mind blowing, really.
Yeah, exactly. The dog watching community. I mean, you got the People's Award last year, so it's really. I think people really enjoy following your updates from the road. It makes you feel like, yes, what's going on behind the dots, right?
But this is very true because for the people who haven't been out there and only know about ultra from the little dots moving on the map, it's very difficult to connect or like to know. But when you get out on the road, see the dot, see the person, and you connect those two, then you get different picture. Like you suddenly imagine how the person looks. You know how the person looks. Like you can
Hmm.
you can. It's much more interesting. Of course, not everybody lives in those countries where the track passes and stuff, but that's why all these Facebook groups are, and they just share everything possible over there, and I really love it. Like how the community works in ultra, it's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's one of the best parts. And for example, that in terms of landscape, an area that you say, wow, that was like
Mm.
my wow moment in the race.
Yeah, since that was my second time, and because I improved my time by quite some, so there was parts in the latter stage of the race where I was at night last time, and this
Mm-hmm.
year I was there at the daytime. And there
Mm-hmm.
was some national parks where I just rode last year. One in particular that I remember very well was from Grants to Pytown. Last year I did that stretch on at night. I couldn't
Yeah.
see anything. Like I was just riding, and this year I rode it at daytime, and even it was very hot, but it was so beautiful. I don't remember the name of the national park, but the at the road, like there's walls of stones and caves and stuff, and you can just ride and look at that, and it takes you places like the way disappears way faster when you have something to look at. I think that is just the worst with a nighttime riding. It's
Mm-hmm.
very monotonous because you just see the road in front of you and just like it's boring.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, as you said, sometimes you go there at night and don't appreciate it. Or depends of your mental state. I will say, if you had a good day
Mm,
and you're feeling
mm,
energetic, it's like, wow, this place is amazing. If you had a
mm,
really rough day, then might be beautiful, but you don't
mm,
appreciate it as much. I
mm.
will say. And let's talk
Very
about
true.
your equipment, your
Mm-hmm.
bike. So you went with a Trek Super Caliber,
Caliber. Mm-hmm.
yeah, with a front and rear suspension.
Yeah,
What?
I'm
Why
the
you decided to go for
um
this one, like full suspension?
I've tested, I was very not sure about using that bike. Um yeah, lucky to have both a hardtail and a full suspension bike. And I did Atlas Mountain Race on Super Caliber
Mm-hmm.
and saw how it works in a rough terrain, and it survived the like 1,300 kilometers of quite rough roads. So I was like, okay, I need to test it in one more race. I did another race in Switzerland. It was just like, yeah, only only 370 kilometers, but that was a really that the one that okay, this one's gonna be used at Tour de White as well.
Ah, Le Mans,
Um,
right?
yeah, Le
Yeah,
Mans
yeah.
Gravel, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and uh, and then it was because I really felt comfortable, confident in all terrains and everything. But with the Tour Divide, you as we talked about, it's very harsh on your equipment and everything. So you kind of want to have as few moving parts as you can get away with,
Mm-hmm.
because the mud and everything gets everywhere. So I was really not sure if yes, bringing a full suspension bike will work. And yeah, because last year as well, when I did it on a hardtail with a front suspension, when I finished the race, the front suspension wasn't working. So it was just
No.
like, no, it stopped working maybe halfway or something like this.
Yeah.
So I thought the same gonna happen this year, but like, okay, let's give it a try. And yeah, I'm the first person to win on a full suspension bike as well.
Oh wow! So skin soon and a full suspension, but
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
a kind of opposite combinations, but it works, right?
Yeah. And I had the arrow helmet and arrow socks and all this stuff is like, yeah, marginal gains, but as we talk.
Yeah, I love it. If it's like something I'm obsessed is like aero makes a
Mm-hmm.
difference. I don't know when when you cannot go physically faster because your body is down. The only thing you have is like a passive speed. You know what your
Mm-hmm.
equipment gives you. So if you have
Mm-hmm.
something that makes you faster without having to move faster, that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of okay.
Yeah,
I get
exactly.
it. Yeah, and for example, tire choices. So you went for Conti Race King, right? Why is
Mm-hmm.
that? It
That
was a quite a popular choice among Tour de Vie riders.
Uh, yeah, I think there are people who are very good in numbers, so they make all these, they count and do all these graphs and stuff. I think Contis were the Race Kings were the second most popular tire, and took about 18% of riders who chose to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the clear leader or clear tire winner is still Vittoria Mescals,
Mm-hmm.
but uh, I again looked at the rolling resistance and stuff, and I saw that yeah, Conti is a bit faster tire.
Yeah.
The only downside compared to proper Mescals is maybe they are more puncture, I don't know, less puncture resistant,
Mm-hmm.
but I compensated that with a Silka tubeless milk, like the sealant.
Yeah, that's a
So
good one.
yeah, so that I think yeah. the combination, I haven't had a single puncture. Like I really went through the race without any tire issues at all.
Yeah, I also use the same silica sealant, and it seals the punctures. Like if there's any puncture, it always
Exactly.
gets sealed.
Maybe I
Hmm.
had punctures. I don't know. I just didn't get to notice them because everything got sealed.
Oh, that's great. And in terms of bags, like you had some like Telfin bags, like
Hmm.
from the. I mean, it's not your traditional Telfin bags, right? So you have a
Nah, I
custom.
mean, yeah, they are custom ones. I'm happy to be on the R&D team, research and design and stuff, and develop. So yeah, lucky to have those white ones that are. I mean, the rear one, the tail fin rack. I hope that they're gonna start implementing some of the features on the production ones as well because it really did amazing. I mean, I could. I had only three bags on the bike, so it was the
Mm-hmm.
rack, top two bag, which is a long one and big one and spacious,
Yeah,
and because of how Trek Super Caliber is made, so I could use the whole inner triangle, the frame
yeah,
triangle. So that also gave me quite a lot of space inside there, so I could carry everything and food and yeah, I had a hydration vest as well on me.
yeah, yeah. Exactly. So you didn't have any bladder inside the frame bag. You have only the
Oh my god.
hydration vest.
Hmm.
Oh, okay,
I,
that
f-
works really well.
I find it easier to drink, you know, like when you
Yeah,
put it in a frame, you kind of have to suck all that water up. When you
yeah,
have it on the back, you just like kind of squeeze the I don't know how do you call it in English, but yeah, you just squeeze the mouthpiece and
yeah.
the water kind of flows way easier. So
Yeah,
it's
I think
small
it makes a
things.
difference. Yeah, you tend to drink more. I think when I started using a hydration vest recently,
Mm-hmm.
because my bike skills are horrible, so I, I struggle to get the bottles in and out.
Okay.
And then I find myself drinking more because I can just take small sips instead of
Mm-hmm.
having to drink a lot at once.
Mm-hmm.
And you end up drinking more regularly. So
Mm-hmm.
really makes a difference. And also saves you some time a bit fiddling with the bottles in and out.
and and you can drink while the terrain is technical because you have
Hmm.
both wheels on the handlebars, right? So it's like I really like that, or like yeah, because then you just put it in and you still can control the bike and not lose anything and not lose the bottles and it's very difficult to lose the bladder, you know, like it's
Yeah.
possible but it's very difficult.
Yeah, exactly. And also efficiency, sometimes you can just put like 1.5 liters directly into the bladder instead of having to open the
Mm,
bottles, or like 2 liters, 3 liters, or whatever you need.
exactly.
So as you mentioned, it's this marginal gains that makes a difference in
Mm,
over the course of the days. And do you think you will do it again, or
no. I think at the moment I've done what I wanted to do there, and nah, I think I had enough now for a while. So it's as I said, like it's a beautiful race, but it's not a thing that you kind of. There are so many races in the world, and world is so big and beautiful. So I want
Mhm.
to explore it other places instead of doing same and same again and again.
And what's your any more exciting plans for the year? I mean, I know you also organize races like Bright Midnight, so I guess
Yeah.
now is Bright Midnight and maybe
Yeah.
another ultra race, or what's your
Oh
plan for the
yes.
year?
Oh yes. Oh yes. Of course. Like, I always have races on my list and wish list and try to make those wish lists reality. But yeah, so Bright Midnight is starting on Sunday, so that's the first thing that I have to look or like I'm concentrating on at the moment. And later on, so yeah, the question you asked, like if I'm gonna do Tour Divide again, you probably have heard about this like Triple Crown. These
Mm,
are the
yeah,
three races in USA.
yeah.
So at the beginning of the year, I wasn't thinking about doing those, but now, yeah, the more I hear about this Triple Crown challenge and stuff, the more it maybe comes to my mind that yeah, I need to do it at some point.
Yeah.
But then if I wouldn't do it this year, then it would require me to do another Tour de White later. And
Yes.
and I just told you that I have not a very big. I don't know. Like, so probably I'm gonna do the Triple Crown this year, just to do it
Ooh,
and be done with it.
that's
So, but
exciting. Yeah.
yeah, that's yeah, because Colorado Trail happens in 1 month. Like it's 11th of August, so I have 1 month left to make up all the plans. But since I
Yeah.
don't like the plans, so it's I love to go with the flow and change my plans. This is why I hate plans because they change.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But having the ability to go with the flow is really important in ultra races because you cannot plan
No,
for everything. So,
no,
yeah, being a bit spontaneous is always helpful. A bit of planning, but also being willing
yeah.
to go off the plan.
I know. Yeah, you have to have some, as you said, like you have to have a degree of planning, but the rest is you have to be prepared to get to throw away all your plans.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, thank you so much, Justinas. It's been amazing to talk with you and for all the insights. And for our listeners, make sure to follow Justinas on Instagram. I leave the link below and check out Bright Midnight. I mean, really looking forward for the updates of your events. Are always super fun. Yeah, thank you
Thank
so
you
much
so
for
much.
taking the time. I think it really engaged dot watchers. Your stories are very real. Mhm.
Okay, thanks so much. I mean, I had a pleasure talking to you, and thank you for having me here. It's been amazing.
Thanks for joining. If you want to support the channel, make sure to check out the links in the description for exclusive discounts. Until the next adventure.